Okay. Never really done this, but we're gonna try it. I watched Hadestown recently, and it has just been in my head. I've been singing it like crazy. I've been thinking about the story like crazy, and I watched TikTok a couple days ago that just gave me a new perspective on the show I had never seen before. And I love shows that can do that you can listen to a million times and never see or think about certain things, and all of a sudden you hear one thing and you see the whole show in a different light. And so I want to talk about that. I have like one video on my channel, and it is reviewing another Greek epic instead of a tragedy, but it's it was an old college project talking about the synopsis of the Odyssey in 3 minutes or 5 minutes or something. I don't know. Maybe if I figure out how, I'll link it up here or something. But that's the only thing I've ever done on here. And so it's kind of funny that the only other video, or the second video that I'm making, is going to be about another Greek tragedy turned Broadway musical. But still, kind of interesting. Talking about Greek gods a lot on this channel for some reason. But anyway, so the synopsis here, or the main epiphany that I had, is that Hadestown, the story of Hadestown, has two plots. It has two stories going on in it. One that is the literal story of what's happening, right? Orpheus and Eurydice up above, fall in love. Persephone, the goddess Persephone, comes up to the above. Hades brings her back down. Convinces Eurydice to come down to the underworld and work in this basically like corporate America, right? Give up all of your life and everything that makes you happy just to come and work and work and work and work and work, and you're under contract and you can't leave. And Orpheus goes down into this town to bring her out and whatever. Okay, the actual story of what happens, like the literal happenings, okay? But then there's an underlying story underneath all of it that I think is really, really fascinating. And this story is a little bit more symbolic than it is literal. In this version of the story, the only people that are real in this show are humans that are above ground, that are not in Hadestown. Those are the only people that actually exist. So everything that happens down in Hadestown is not real, and none of the gods are real. They're not real people anyway. Okay, so the gods all represent world forces or ideas or concepts. They're all symbolic for something. Okay, and I'll explain that here. So, Persephone. Okay, Persephone embodies hope, right? Or spring, right? That's the thaw, right? That's hope. Hope returns, right? Hope comes back like spring. It brings you out of the darkness, right? She represents hope. The Fates represent doubt, right? And a couple other things, they kind of like bleeds into a couple other things, but really it just comes down to doubt. For instance, the only time that Hades ever hears the Fates speaking to him is when he has doubt for the first time in the show of I don't know what to do. He always knows what to do. He's the king, right? The one time that he's like, what do I do with this Orpheus guy? Here come the Fates. So that's really interesting. The Fates are so awesome. Anyway, Hades himself, you would think that he is death, but I think in this analogy of the story, in this kind of reading of the story, he's really more of the truth. He is hard truth. Okay, I'll talk more about that in a little bit. It'll make sense when I lay it out. And then Hermes is kind of the weirdest one. Hermes is sort of he is song, basically. He is creativity, art, music, He is song, is what I'm going to call him for the rest of this video, okay? And he's sort of, Fight Club thing with Orpheus. He's sort of like Orpheus's alter ego sometimes, it seems like. But really, it's that he is song. Orpheus is connected so much of himself to music, and Hermes is that. So, okay, laying out the premise right there for you of who the gods are. It's important to know. But now here's what it is. Here's what the actual story is. Okay, actually laying it out for you. In the original story of Eurydice, the Greek tragedy. Oh my gosh, that's bright. Orpheus and Eurydice fall in love. They get together, and then while Orpheus is off working on his music, Eurydice is bitten by a snake. They even say that in the show, which is really cool, right? Songbird versus rattlesnakes, right? I love when they make those little homages to the actual tragedy. But anyway, she's bitten by a snake and she dies, and she goes to the underworld. That's what actually happens. Orpheus travels to the underworld to get her back, sings a song to Hades. He lets them go. We know what happens, right? But she's actually dead. She's not in some corporate industrial company or whatever. She's dead. That's what's actually happening in this secondary story of Hadestown, is that it's the story of Orpheus and Eurydice falling in love, and then when she goes down to Hadestown, the rest of the show is about Orpheus's stages of grief. It is him grieving and coming to terms with the fact that Eurydice is gone. So, at the beginning of the show, they're together, fall in love, and that's real. They're not in Hadestown, they're above ground, they're humans, so this is actually happening. They fall in love, they find each other. How do they find each other? Orpheus who introduces Orpheus and Eurydice? Hermes. Song, okay? Orpheus gets Eurydice to fall in love with him through his music, okay? And when they fall in love, who comes back? As soon as they fall in love, who comes back? What's the first song after their little love song together? When Orpheus sings this song, hope, Persephone, hope returns. Spring comes again. Everybody can breathe, can smile, they have this joy again because of Orpheus's song. Persephone returns for just a little bit, okay? But it's only for a little bit. The song's not perfect, okay? So what comes back? They're lost in their music, they're lost in their love for a little bit, and then the harsh reality, truth, comes back. Hades comes back to take that hope away, to take Persephone back to the underworld, right? Truth comes back to smack you in the face and remind you what is reality, okay? Eurydice goes back down, hope goes away, and Orpheus is obsessed with, I need to get that back. I need to get that hope back. We were happy. We were happy. We were joyful. We had hope again for a little bit. I need to perfect this song. So he obsesses over this song. And while he's doing that, the harsh reality of the world happens. And Eurydice dies. She goes to the underworld. While he's obsessing over his work, Eurydice dies. He comes out of his... He thinks he made the song. I did it. I made the song. I'm ready. I'm going to share it with the world. Where's Eurydice? And she's dead. And this is where his journey begins of his grief. Because what happens right away? Hermes tries to tell him she's gone. And he denies it. Right? First stage of grief, deny. He denies it. No, where is she? She was just here. Where did she go? No, she's gone. She's down below, 6 feet under the ground below. She's dead, right? And so this is the truth. She's gone. But he can't accept that. he goes, wherever she is where I'll go. I will get her back. I'll save her. The denial. You can't save somebody who's dead, right? What are you talking about? But then Hermes, his alter ego, okay, song, music. There's another way to bring her back. It's not easy, but you can bring her back through song. Okay? So he sings. He sings his song. He's like, great, I'm going to go to the underworld. I'm going to bring her back. What he's doing now for the rest of the show is he is diving into his work. He's diving into his art. Okay? And he's obsessing over his art to try to bring her back, right? But also to distract himself from the reality. He doesn't want to see the truth. He doesn't want to accept the truth. He wants to fight it. So he goes down to the underworld to fight whose truth? Hades, right? To fight truth. So he ventures down into the underworld and sings a song so beautiful that the stones weep and let him in. I love this detail. I don't know if this is intended or not, but I love this. He sings a song to a wall of stone. He's singing to a brick wall. You're talking to a brick wall, man. You can't actually bring her back to life. You're literally just singing to a brick wall right now, right? But so in reality, you're not bringing her back. You're singing to a brick wall. But in his stupor, in his state, making his music, he breaks through that wall, and he makes it to the underworld, and he finds Eurydice, and they're back together again. He's with his love again. In his music, in this beautiful piece of art that he makes, Eurydice is with her again, or with him again. Okay? But, what did I say at the beginning? Everything that happens in Hadestown is not real. None of this is real. She's not really, truly back with him, right? This is in his mind, in his music, in his art, okay? But in some small way, some imaginative way, some spiritual way, she's back with him, okay? He can be with his love again. But who's this pesky guy that keeps coming in to pull him apart? The truth. The truth is always there. Hades is always there to pull them apart again. Who do you think you are? Get out of here. Get out of my realm. Get out of this stupor you're in and come back to reality, right? Go back to the above ground, to the real world, right? And get out of this state. Well, Orpheus says no. And he says, I came here to fight truth. I'm going to sing this. If I sing this song, will you let her go? This is bargaining. Denial, bargaining, okay? And in there, by the way, he also has that moment of like, where he's singing that song of, is this what truth is, right? Is it true what they say? He kind of has that anger too, right? That rage, that anger part is in there as well. But mostly it's the bargaining that happens down here in Hadestown. And so what does he do? He's still pouring himself into his art, and he sings a song so beautiful that he denies, he overcomes truth and reality for a little bit, and he's with Eurydice. And Hades says that he can be with her for a little bit and take her with him. Okay. What also happens here though? He said at the beginning of the show, I'm gonna write a song, I'm gonna create a song so beautiful that it brings the world back into tune and fixes the world. I'm gonna write a piece of music so beautiful it fixes the world. Well, when he sings to Hades, he does that. He accomplishes that goal. He dove into his music so deeply that he wrote a piece of music so beautiful that it did fix the world. It brought the world back into tune, and it made truth and hope. It brought them back together. It brought truth and hope back together again. You can have both. I didn't even mean to do this little heart thing, but it's kind of cute. So he brought truth and hope back together. They can live in harmony. You don't have to be delusional to have hope, and deny truth. but you also don't need to just lose all hope and just focus on what's in front of you and the harsh reality of the world without having any hope in a better world, right? You can have both. His song is so beautiful that it does that, okay? But when Hades says, okay, you can go be with Eurydice, sing your song and be with Eurydice, and walk your way out of Hadestown. But when you turn around to see if she's there, when you open your eyes and hope that she'll be there with you in the real world, she won't be. She won't be, because she's not really alive. And this is for the stages of grief, this is the acceptance. And this was what the main part of that TikTok I saw was about, it was Orpheus accepting Eurydice's death. And the acceptance stage, a lot of people think is this, like, it'll come with all this serenity and this peace and he was saying, no, it's not always that way. The acceptance part is painful. It hurts. And that's what Orpheus is going through at the end, is he wrote this song. It's the perfect song. It is the best song that's ever been written, and it can fix the entire world. But it can't actually bring Eurydice back. Even that can't bring Eurydice back for real. You can be with her in your song, but it won't bring her back for real, right? And so when he turns, he comes out of Hadestown, he escapes, and he looks back to see if she's with him. Of course she's not. He can't actually bring her back. But then what happens at the very end of the show? Hermes' song starts the story over again. And Orpheus and Eurydice are together once more through song. As long as we keep singing this song, Eurydice and Orpheus can be together, at least for a little while. And now, centuries later, after this story has happened, and after the story is long gone, and now it's just a story we tell, even after Orpheus is dead too, Orpheus and Eurydice can still be together for just a little bit, as long as we keep singing this song. And I just love that. Hope, Persephone, music, Hermes, Orpheus's music can keep Eurydice and Orpheus together for a little while. And I just thought that was so cool. But the main story there is Orpheus going through the stages of grief, and he creates something beautiful in that grief. But in the end, he has to accept the truth. Eurydice is gone, and he has to accept that grief. And I just think that's such a beautiful little human element inside of this grandiose story of the gods. That is just really, really cool. And so that's what I wanted to make a story about. This is mostly just me ranting about thoughts I had about Hadestown, but I don't know. If you liked it, let me know. If this made you think about the show a little bit differently, let me know. And if you've never seen Hadestown, I don't know why you're watching this video. I love that you are. But if you've never seen it, go see it. Go see it in whatever way you can. I think it's touring right now. Hopefully it comes towards, near you. See the show, listen to the soundtrack. It's absolutely incredible. The little Louisiana, New Orleans twist on a Greek tragedy is just a cool concept. But if you liked it, let me know. I guess give me a like and comment. Actually, please though, comment, because I want to hear what you thought about this theory, if it made you think about the show differently. And tell me if you have any other theories about Hadestown, because I just love this show and I could talk about it for hours, but I've already talked about it for 20 minutes and that's probably enough for me today. So thanks for watching. If you did, have a good one.